As torrential rain and fog blanket the mountain roads, a man rides through the storm, chasing a whisper, a faint, flickering hope that the woman he loves is still alive. Welcome back to the story of CEO James and the missing girl known only as Diep. A story that has captivated thousands, not only because of the mystery it contains, but also because of the intense, unwavering emotion that drives it forward, love in its most desperate form. The authorities and James followed every lead. Yet Diep, bitten, wounded, weakened, and alone, was still missing somewhere in the dense wilderness. The forest was unforgiving, heavy rain, bitter cold, and treacherous terrain turned the search into a race not just against time, but against death itself. Diep, now weak and feverish, clung to life, using only leaves for shelter and storm-scarred branches for warmth. Her body shivered all night, her strength draining by the hour. But deep inside, she held on to a glimmer of hope. James would find her. When James learned that Diep might be trapped somewhere in the highlands, he almost despaired. But he did not stop. With Officer Lee, he crossed flooded forests and flooded ravines, searching for any trace, a footprint, a piece of cloth, a sign that she had passed through. They scoured markets and villages where a stranger like Diep might have been. Yet, everywhere they went, they were met with silence. Shrugs, indifference, and then, Lee left. "I did my best," he said, stepping away from the search. James said nothing, just nodded. But inside, it was as if the last thread holding him together had snapped. Still, he did not break. He did not falter. He turned back the only path left. James traded the rental car for a beat-up motorbike. He taped Diep's photo to the front, a sunlit portrait from the good old days, and set off alone into the wilderness, the rain stinging his eyes and the wind howling. Every roadside shack, every market, every face, he stopped and asked, "Have you seen her? She's sick." "She's my family." His voice was hoarse. The flyer he'd carried was now a sodden, tattered relic. But he pressed on, with an unshakable belief that she was out there. Somewhere, they said love couldn't fight fate. James didn't believe that. He believed that as long as there was a glimmer of hope, it was worth it. After days of riding through storm after storm, James's body finally gave in. The fever hit. He collapsed in a mountain lodge, pale and shaking. The innkeeper urged him to rest, and for a moment, it seemed the journey was over. Then a miracle happened. His phone rang. A stranger was on the other end. His voice was shaky. "I saw the flyer. I think I saw her. Near Kilo Slope. 2 days ago. Alone, exhausted." James didn't wait to hear more. He sat up, shaking, his heart pounding. The rain was still falling. His fever had not broken. But he didn't care. If it was really the Diep, even if there was a chance, he had to go. Diep was a ghost of herself now. The untreated snakebite had ravaged her body. Her makeshift remedies had helped her through the worst, but not for long. Fever, hunger, and cold tormented her every day. Her eyes were sunken. Her voice was barely a whisper. She sought help, knocked on doors, asked for jobs, but no one stopped long enough to care. Her appearance frightened them. Her voice was ignored. Her story, nothing mattered. She was no longer human. Just another face swallowed by the margins of a book. Rejected again and again, she returned to the forest. Her shelter, banana leaves and branches. Her diet, berries, bitter herbs, rainwater squeezed from leaves. It was not survival. It was just a fragile existence, but she kept the fire burning. One night, when her fever was at its peak, she curled up by the fire and fell into a dream. In the dream, James appeared, not as a memory, but as if he were really there. His arms were around her. His voice was in her ear. His warmth warmed her in the cold. She cried in the dream. Not out of grief, but out of the overwhelming relief of being found. Then, nothing. The dream dissolved like smoke. The warmth was gone. The silence returned. Only the cold wind remained. And she lay there, the fire dying, her heart pounding. Back on the road, James was 70 kilometers from her last known location. On a clear day, it was an easy ride. But with a high fever, a flooded road, and the weight of life and death on his shoulders, it was the end of the world. He fell. He was suffocating from the cold. But he kept going, because somewhere out there, the girl he loved was fading into the night. And if he stopped, she would be gone forever. Diep's last flame flickered in the darkness of the forest. Her body was curled up with shivers, her lips chapped, her strength almost gone. But in her weak breaths, she still whispered his name. Can James get there before that ember dies? Can love really keep the heart beating against the cold, the rain, and the impossible? Tomorrow's episode will reveal what happens as time passes, and love is all that remains.